by misadventure. He slipped and fell through the boardwalk. A truly unfortunate accident. If it wouldn't have been for that bench, he'd be alive.
Do you think he was drunk?
Oh, yes.
What about alcohol poisoning and liver failure?
Some symptoms of acute alcohol poisoning could have definitely played a role here. Severe confusion, respiratory depression, unpredictable behavior. But I think that death arrived through head trauma, not liver failure.
What about the kebab?
What about it? The deceased ate some kebab. It's probably from a nearby place, maybe in the box.
Sometimes a kebab is just a kebab.
Someone should be held responsible for this broken boardwalk. It's dangerous.
They'll seal this place off after the news reaches the coalition officials. I doubt that they have enough resources to actually repair the boardwalk. Not that sealing it off would keep anyone away. All it does is keep the city council's hands clean.
Could it be related to the lynching? Ruby?
No, I don't see anything that points in that direction. For now, let's treat this case as a simple, albeit sad, accident, unrelated to the murder case.
Yes, but what if there's a killer on the loose? Two suspicious deaths in such a short time frame.
You're right. Connecting it with the lynching is a stretch.
Without any further evidence, yes.
Right.
It does seem to be a pretty straightforward misadventure, although there's still a question of identifying the body.
You're right about that, Shmorg. Kebabs are an interesting food, but I find that I'm not like super into vegetables, and so I'm just there for the meat. And at that point, just feed me the meat. I guess you can put it on a stick if that makes you feel better, but nah. What should we do with him?
From where I stand, I can see two options. We either take the case and follow the leads to identify the body on our own, or we report back to the station and leave this for our colleagues to handle.
Chat, should I take the case or not take the case? Hold on, what about a field autopsy?
A field autopsy isn't necessary if the cause of death doesn't appear to be criminal, and this looks like a simple accident to me.
You're right about that, Shmorg. It just makes eating it more difficult.
I'd say we should just write down head trauma and leave it at that. Let's keep this detour as short as possible. The sooner we get back to finding Ruby, the better.
You're right. I don't see anything criminal here. Let's leave it at that.
Good call. The guys at processing can take care of the rest.
Alright. I've got one for take it. Sam, are you still here? Should we take the case? Five, four, three, two, one. Take the case.
Alright, we should first examine the library card you found. Then we can call the station from Mike and Emma. Let them know we are taking the case.
The library card is folded into two and still slightly wet to the touch. The front side reads, Central Jamrock Public Library Card, issued to Billy Mejean, expires July 53. Billy is a unisex name. Could be the deceased or his family member.
Look inside.
Whoever owns this card is an avid reader. You find a list of books written in blue pencil. Radio thriller. Stand a little less between me and the sun. The last one in the list is The Glinton Curve by M. Theobald. A library stamp indicates that the book has been returned. Most of these titles seem to be in the sci-fi genre. Some thrillers too.
Look at the backside.
If lost, please return the card to the library. Dial 005 02 55211 or visit us at Moreau Street, 78, Jamrock. Business hours, 900 to 1800.
Good. We should give them a call from my kinema. See if we can learn anything about Billy Méjean.
Good idea. There was plenty of information here to go by. The bullet is safely sealed away in a plastic bag bearing the RCM stamp. Kim has filled out the label on the bag with the item number, case number, and date and location the bullet was found. Beside his orderly handwriting, the bullet looks especially sad, like a tiny, shriveled head of cauliflower.
What do I do with you, Bullet?
What?
I said, what do I do with you, Bullet?
Well, if I was the bullet, which I'm not, I would say find the weapon that shot me.
Good idea.
If we find who owns it, we will have likely found who used it, possibly to kill our victim. In conclusion, the more we know about this bullet of yours, the better.
Feel the bullet.
The squashed bullet has some sharp edges where the jacket has split open. It feels cold, even through the bag. You wouldn't ordinarily have cause to handle jacketed bullets. The citizens' militia uses cast bullets only. Little pebbles of metal loaded from the muzzle, usually in a cartridge. The jacket of the bullet is made of a yellowish metal. It has blossomed out to reveal a dark grey core. The base of the bullet is close to 5 millimeters in diameter. You can just about make out a few striations near the base of the bullet. Little hairlines, linear. It feels standard. It's quite destroyed. Some of the fragments are still lodged in the wound.
What can you say about the bullet so far?
The jacketed bullet, close to 5 millimeters in
The
diameter.
jacketed bullet. Okay. It would have been shot from a military-grade breech-loading rifle, not from a muzzleloader like those typically found on the streets of Martinez.
We were right. This came from a serious weapon. Highly unusual. The people of Revachol haven't carried breech-loading weapons like this for nearly half a century.
Even the RCM uses ordinary unjacketed conical bullets. This is strange. Very strange. I like this, officer. Strange means unique. Unique means incriminating. We need to find the gun that shot it.
That makes sense, Schmorgs. We'll see them when we see them.
Something tells you that won't be any time soon. This'll have to be one of those epic tasks that's open for a while. A rifle, revolutionary period. Your bullet looks to be an old 4.46 millimeter from the surplus left over from the turn of the century. Probably an antique or a retrofitted antique.
Make?
The 4.46 caliber was widely used with the Belmargrave rifle, a Revacholian manufacturer. The BM dominated the battlefields of the Insulindian theater of the anti-centennial revolution 50 years ago. Incidentally, you have just such a rifle with you. The dusty old thing you found hidden in the basement below the commercial area. It's unusable, sadly. If it were, the bullet would probably fit the chamber.
Anyone still making these rifles?
No, but Zeliger, a major firearm manufacturer, ended up with a surplus after the war. So there are still a lot of these old military rifles floating around, usually broken. The quality was appalling.
Who uses Belmagrave rifles these days?
Antiques enthusiasts, guerrilla fighters in distant countries, a few lucky jamrock bangers. You're looking for the same thing you found in that hidden weapons cache, only in working order.
Okay.
What are you thinking? Bullet?
I think I know where this came from.
Okay. And?
Shot probably came from a Belmagrave
An
rifle.
antique. That makes sense. There can't be many breech-loading rifles floating around in Martinez or anywhere in Ravachol, really.
That's probably a good thing.
I have to hand it to the monarchs. It's quite admirable that they took the advice of criminologists last century and banned the use of breech loaders in peacetime. Some new RCM recruits get impatient with their muzzle loaders once they've trained with military-grade weapons, but they realize it's worth it in the end.
Prohibiting peacetime law enforcement to front-loaded rifles is a policy enforced by the Moralist International in all the nations of the Real Belt.
Makes you consider every shot. I like it.
Imagine if everyone, cops, citizens, had access to firearms that could shoot multiple rounds without pausing to reload. After the first shot, the second, third, and so on come much easier. But back to the investigation.
Seems we're looking for an antiques enthusiast.
Doesn't seem that likely, but we'll check out all possible leads. Next step, finding the gun itself.
The bullet has nothing more to say.
Six crumbling petals rest on your palm. They're white, a bell-shaped crown.
What is this, Kim?
This is the Insulindian lily, called Maybelle's or Lucille's tears during the Revolution. Girls used to pin these on soldiers before sending them off to battle.
This flower is a spring flower, but it's a bit early for that, isn't it?
Who pinned them? Which side?
The revolutionaries, so the communards and the anarchists. White's their color, but the custom started in the suzerain's army, so it held meaning for the kingsmen too. It's about girls and boys more than sides. Girls sending off boys who are going to their deaths, then also dying themselves in the ruins from dysentery and consumption. It's a symbol of the Civil War.
This flower blossom in early spring?
Yes, but not this early, not to my knowledge. It looks dried, preserved.
Is it a coincidence it being on the roof?
Maybe. Maybe not. We'll see.
Very well.
The petals feel dry and fragile in your hand. Wait, have you noticed there's a war veteran playing a ball game on the plaza? You should ask him about the flowers.
Okay. I had a boombox and then I lost it.
The porter reel is just what you need.
Oh, do I still have
The
it?
reel's attached to the apparatus with a satisfying click. The tape is routed behind the magnetic reader.
Not now.
A police badge on which you see the photo of a man. You. Some seaweed is stuck to the back.
I found my badge.
At least something good came out of all this.
Study the badge.
Encased between two durable plastic sheets is a bluish card with lines of information and a watermark in the shape of the street grid of Revachol West. You see a photo, a name, a rank, a document number, the date of issue, and in the lower right corner, your precinct.
Look at the
The
photo.
man keeps winking at you with his green-grey eyes. The photo is old, no doubt about that. But the badge is new. You used an old photo for a new badge. Good choice. A newer photo would look different.
How old?
8, maybe 10 years. The guy in the picture is rather good looking. He's got a nice haircut and is distinctly lacking in massive sideburns.
And he's winking. Why?
What do you think? His face is already contorted by the expression, although it looks less grotesque on him than it did on you. It looks like you had quite the charming face way back then. Your hair is brown and slightly curly. Your eyes seem more clear somehow. Don't be fooled. The bad times have already begun. The badge in your hand shines as you rotate it, catching light. You see...
Harrier. That's long for Harry. So you are Harry. Evrard was half right. Probably not a lot of people know your full name. Whoever told him you're Harry Dubois didn't.
But I don't want to be Harrier Dubois. Wait, what kind of name is Harrier?
It's a wartime name. Revolutionary. The kind mothers give their sons during troubled times, like Undying or Boxer or Ironhide.
It's meant to keep you safe from bullets, hunger, shrapnel, kidnappings, and worse.
Harrier Dubois it is then.
Pleased to make your acquaintance, Harrier Dubois.
He's not going to call you Harrier. He'll keep calling you officer when he's angry with you, and detective when he's not. The badge in your hands shines as
Lieutenant W. Freighter.
What is a Lieutenant W. Freighter?
The lieutenant is a rank above sergeant and below captain. It's the highest rank in the RCM that still does field work. I am a lieutenant.
And W. Freighter?
The title of Freighter is added to your rank when you decline a promotion to a higher rank. In your case, captain. You have declined twice, thus you're W. Freighter.
Declined?
There are many reasons one would do this. The rank above you in your precinct's decomptage might be taken, or sometimes promoted officers do not want to replace their superiors out of respect. And sometimes they just prefer the type of police work available to their current rank, in your case, lieutenant.
heavy-duty case-solving machine.
What's a decomptage? Decomptage?
Decomptage is the hierarchical system employed by the Revachol Citizens Militia. It means counting down to twos.
The countdown is modeled after the dual leadership system employed by the left during the revolution, which in turn was developed by last-century experimental psychologists in the University of Königstein.
The lowest rank is junior officer, usually teenagers. Then there are the patrol officers, then sergeants, lieutenants, and then a captain. That's basically it, except for a few kings.
What kinks?
Kings like satellite officers and the additionally a freighter rank I already explained.
The long and short of it is, you're his superior.
So you've been putting up with all my bullshit because I'm your superior?
No, I've been putting up with you because despite an unconventional approach, you are doing good police work.
Thank you, Kim.
It matters more than driving your motor carriage into the sea. And now we've even found your badge.
He trusts you, for now. Try not to spoil it.
Turn back to the document.
Such a small yet precious thing. Expensive paper caught between thick plastic, like a fly in amber. It reads.
That's just the serial number. Revachol, Jamrock, Precinct 41, with some numbers thrown in there for good measure.
The numbers are not there for good measure. They have an administrative purpose, one that's unfortunately been erased from your memory.
Date of issue?
4 months ago. I'm guessing that's when you were promoted to the rank of Lieutenant W. Freighter. A new badge usually comes with a new rank. You seem to have been doing well then.
The pain in your chest tells you you were working yourself to death to earn that rank. You're pretty sure you weren't doing well, but better? Probably yes. A lot can happen in 4 months, especially in winter. The winters are never easy on you, of that you are sure.
Yes, it's the designation of your precinct. 41, like mine says 57. The 57th is mostly industrial harbor, a lot of asphalt. The 41st is...
What?
It's a tough station to work in. You have all of Jamrock to cover. That district should have 3 precincts, but money is what it is.
It's no wonder you are like you are, he thinks. But then again, it's a legendary district, and a hell of a station too. It must be an honor and a curse to work with people like Price, McCoy, Berdiayeva. Roberts, Feuerbach, Dimitri. Suddenly, names from your decomptage flash in your forebrain. He knew all those people, although they're not from his station. They must be big. And you? Is it an honor to work with you? Don't ask him, ask yourself. The badge in your hand shines as you rotate it, catching light. You see lines of information on it.
Okay.
Mikhail noticed the windows, especially with how there are no windows on the south side. This was to deal with.
Blond man stands next to his son, pointing to the weather-burned ruins. He sees you approaching and smiles.
You officers, come to investigate the historic subtext of West Martinez? I'm Tran Heilostam. You must be Kim Kitsuragi, right? I was just telling my son about this building. Not a lot of people realize the historic significance here. Very rich in hypertext.
Nice to meet you.
You and Kim know each other?
No, I can't say that we've met before, but I've heard of Kim, of course. Mikhail, say hi to the officers.
He rests his hands on the boy's shoulder. The child stays hidden behind the hem of his father's cloak, clutching to his worm-themed colored book.
Mikhail's a little tired today. We spent all night trying to run Orbis on his radio computer. Have you heard of it? It's a programming language used in Grad. Quite tricky, but he wanted to play this Grad-made adventure program. We've been getting really into Worms lately.
The man speaks in the artificial cadence of a professor, or someone who's been on too many radio shows.
But I assume you're not here for giant worms when there are so many real things to see. Just as I was telling Mikhail before, this is where the Coalition landed in '08. We could be standing on what is the most interesting landmark in Revachol West.
This man is your half-brother. You feel it. But why? Well, get a load of this guy. He really enjoys his trivia. The Orbis programming language was named after its inventor, Victor Orbis, a cybernetician from Grad. They run Vox in the Occidental countries.
I'm looking for a suspect. Have you seen anyone suspicious around?
No, I'm afraid I can't help you with this one, officer. It's just a regular day off for me and Mikhail here.
So you haven't seen anyone around?
No, I'm sorry. As I said, this is just a day off. We just arrived anyway.
There's something friendly and familiar in how he says that. A day off. He's telling the truth. He hasn't seen anyone.
You look like someone who has money. Do you have any money?
I do have some money, yes, but that's not what's really important here.
He's not gonna give you money. What are you doing? Clearly you were just profiling. No, I mean, come on. You need the money. If it's not a thing, he can give you some.
Could I have some of that unimportant money then?
Oh no, I don't have it on me, officer. I was talking in more general terms.
He looks uncomfortable, his left hand squeezing his son's
Just
shoulder.
spending time with my kid here, showing him around the lesser-known parts of our hometown. It wouldn't be wise to carry huge amounts of cash on such expeditions.
Not that he would have to worry about being robbed. He looks surprisingly buff. Does he work out?
What's so fascinating about an empty old building?
Aha! But it's not just any empty old building.
He raises his hand to his eyes to shield himself from the freezing snow. All four of you turn to admire the mural before you.
What not a lot of people know is this used to be the R&D department of Felt Electrical. And Felt, which now sells ink cartridges mostly, was once a top dog in the turn-of-the-century cybernetics boom.
Hold on. What's R&D? It looks old and weathered, with seagulls picking apart its stone and metal carcass. Bushy undergrowth has taken hold of the collapsed rooftop. Some kind of bird has set up a nest on a broken windowsill.
Wait, what's an R&D department?
Apologies, it's an acronym for research and development. They don't use it anymore. You're probably more familiar with RTD, Research and Technological Development.
Mea culpa. You are not familiar with that one either. This man is a bookhead.
I don't think I've ever heard of this Feld Electrical.
That's not surprising. Only a vestigial ink cartridge and ferrotape manufacturer remains. They started out as a midway electronics outfit in Königstein 2 centuries ago. After an aggressive move to Revachol, Feld became a global player in the emerging personal electronics market of the pre-revolutionary era. Still, Tricentennial was beating them in business machines. But Feld had an ace up their sleeve, or should I say they were developing an ace up their sleeve. I'm mixing my metaphors here.
What was that, Ace?
It was here in Martinez, possibly in this very building, that they developed prototypes for a tape computer.
A tape computer?
An elegant folding mechanism of rollers and ferrotape ribbons, portable enough to be a take-it-home solution. Revolutionizing business machines, possibly even bring them to the average consumer, which is a feat of engineering even today's giants, Rehm, ICN and ZAM, haven't achieved yet.
He assumes something like a combat stance, facing the wind.
What happened?
Indeed. What?
The revolution!
Unfortunately, their moonshot project never made it to the market. Feld's move to Revachol backfired. The revolutionary government liquefied their assets and expropriated those very advanced prototypes, possibly from this very building, or one of the adjacent ruins. All of this was built by Feld, even a boardwalk. Wild Pines built Martinez proper as a resort for their middle management. Feld built this side of town for R&D.
What did the revolutionaries do with those advanced computer tapes?
They used them for military communications, but also to write and send out press releases, the most notorious example being Le Décret de Mars.
What was that?
What's the Mars Decree? I mean the radio transmission sent out to news agencies and world governments by the newly created commune of Revachol on the 7th of March in the year 02.
A short-lived legislative foundation for a short-lived utopia.
It's a beautiful piece of text, actually. A singer-songwriter I know, Charette, called it a love poem to Revachol on her political concept album Bombessier dans ce Lind. You should read it. Every local library in Revachol stocks a copy of the decree. I tried to get Mikhail to memorize it. Tried to. Someone was much too interested in worms to be paying any attention.
The kid takes a peek at the green and silver worm on the cover of the book, already forgetting about this part of the discussion.
How did those tape computers work? Did they work like radio computers?
Actually, no one knows. No one even knows what a computer made entirely of tape would look like. But word has it, they were very elegant, exquisite, alien-looking turn-of-the-century hardware.
Buckle up.
10 years ago, I did a little freelancing, I guess you could say. I was a special consultant for an exhibition at the Wompty Dumpty Dum Center in Vredefort, Oranje.
Wompty Dumpty
It raised
Dum?
the same questions, and we had
Wompty
lengthy
Dumpty Dum?
discussions with Paul Ockerman, who was head curator at the time. This was before the twins Keith and Guy Jews joined the team, trying to...
Wait, did he just say Wumpty Dumpty Dum Center?
Yes.
He did it. He said Wumpty Dumpty Dum Center, like it's the most natural thing in the world. What the hell is a Wumpty Dumpty Dum Center? And who the hell are Keith and Guy Joost?
Okay. The Wompty Dumpty Dum Center, Paul Ockerman, Keith and Guy Joost? What are you talking about?
The Wompty Dumpty Dum Center for Contemporary Art. The exhibition itself drew on Lagerman's notion of memory, and so there were some parallels. That's why the head curator, Paul Ockerman, chose to...
You're making this up. Kim, is he making this up?
In fact, I'm not. The Wompty Dumpty Dum Center is a place you can visit if you're ever in Vredefort and are ever in the market for an exhibition space / contemporary art research center. But perhaps I should return to the tape computers. As I was saying, the device itself was very elegant, fragile even. One could write directly on the tape using a special chemical solution. The machine would then analyze the handwriting, perform operations, and project output onto a white screen. It was a beautiful, delicate thing.
Cool.
Very, very cool. Though I understand the socio-economic causes of the revolution, it pains me to imagine the revolutionaries setting fire to this precious device. But so they did. The Feld playback experiment vanished into the fires of 07.
Wait, the Feld playback experiment?
Yes, the official name of the prototype. Some sources report it as the Feld playback experience, but those are incorrect.
Why did the revolutionaries destroy it?
Who knows? Maybe it was an accident, or maybe they didn't want the technology to end up in the wrong hands. Either way, they're all gone now. All 3 versions of the prototype. Nothing but debris and ashes remain inside that building.
What happened to the engineers, the company people?
Oh, I'm afraid it didn't end well for the boys. But this story is a bit too dark for little Mikhail here. Now, if you were to ask about tape computers,
He means that the boys got shot by the communists. The boys were bourgeois.
My Harry is a communist. He means they all got shot in the head because they were bourgeois. Do you understand what the bourgeois is?
Officer, I told you this chapter of history wasn't on Mikhail's curriculum yet. Let's keep this kid friendly.
The boy looks first at you, then back at his father. Confused.
You're saying that the Feld Electrical built this boardwalk?
Yes, they even built a pleasure wheel, but that got destroyed in the war.
Exactly, Schmorg. I'm a communist sniffer. You think I'm gonna, not give this kid a little history lesson? It's part of my job description. I'm a communist sniffer. A sniffer of communist.
A pleasure wheel?
Perhaps reminded of a childhood memory. It's clear he would prefer there were a big wheel lighting up the coast.
Yes, to lure in their star engineers. This part of Martinez was nothing but reeds before Feld arrived. They had to make the prospect of living here attractive. It was supposed to become a global center for innovation in cybernetics. But history had other plans.
What, that's something
But
else?
of course, what else?
By the way, do you work out?
I do some Lomantang stick fighting now and then.
Lo Mantang stick fighting is a form of martial arts originating from the island of Lo Mantang. It uses slender wooden sticks for confronting the opponent.
Sorry, something fell over. Hang on. A form of martial arts from the Isle of Lo Mantang, right?
Actually, a great many cultures have their own version of stick fighting, such as the sacred Mabolo tradition of the Harli people. The name deriving from the butterfruit tree traditionally used for crafting the long, slender sticks, whereas the sticks used in other cultures.
You doze off as he paints you a comprehensive picture of the history of stick fighting among mankind, seasoning it with unexpected pop culture references. Man, he's good at speaking. People must love him.
But anyway, I'm boring you with details again. You were saying?
I don't really remember what I was saying.
Then I guess everything got said, right?
Great. Thanks for all the interesting information.
No, thanks to you for having me and little Mikhail here to pick your brain. A very interesting conversation indeed.
Pick your brain. If anything, this was rather one-sided. He did the talking. Whatever.
Okay. Wow, dude. You talk for a while. Bye, dude.
You see a once bright mural towering above you. The signage has peeled off over the years, but you can still make out Feld Electrical. A slogan used to intertwine with the loops a long time ago. Now only a shadow of peeled letters remains. It says, "Tomorrow is just a whisper away."
Tomorrow is just a whisper away.
Looks like tomorrow never came.
I enjoyed the history lesson too, Schmorgs, but he talked for a long time.
Above the mural, a collapsed roof, broken windows set in walls that are cracking and will soon also fall, and the coastal breeze rustling and sighing in the remains of the edifice. Feld Electrical, you only know them as a small company that makes ink cartridges. Looks like they used to be big. There's something in the wind. Sometimes the only way to go forward is to fail first.
Why do I feel like I know this place?
Indeed, somehow you knew it was here. An urban ruin gutted by looters that once used to consume money and dispense warmth and light.
Could Ruby be in there?
In there? She could. Or she could be in the identical room over there, or in that boat shack, in that church tower, maybe.
Why single out this one building?
I would not be able to get that. Do I have any clues that help with shivers? +1 to shivers.
The once bright mural towers above you, saying,
Let's see how many licks does it take to get to the center of a blow pop, Tootsie Pop, whatever it is. I don't care. We're saving and listening to the wind.
the once bright mural towers suddenly.
Honestly, never mind. That's going to take too long. A 3% is not a good percentage.
The remaining windows rattle from a strong gust of wind. They're covered in a thick layer of grime. They must have been like this for 40 years. Dripping water falls from a high place. All you can see is the shadow of a collapsing staircase.
Lieutenant, can you make out what's inside?
No. I won't even try. You know, I had a partner once. They called him Eyes, because he had to show me things. It's that bad.
Can you still shoot, though?
Well enough, actually. It's odd how that works. I'm no sharpshooter, but I passed my shooting courses 7 out of 10.
A familiar apparatus lies among the reeds. Another one of Morel's trap. Behind you, the ruins of a residential building loom over the reeds. They whisper amongst themselves, confidentially. Snowflakes cling to their shivering stems. When this district was booming, the reeds were kept at bay. Nothing obscured the freshly painted facades. Nowhere for drunks and adventurous teenagers to hide. Now only the wind blows. This trap is also full of panicked locusts. No sign of any cryptozoological beast inside.
Another empty trap.
Again, I want to make it absolutely clear that I don't really believe the Phasmid exist, okay?
Of course. Noted.
A scattering of bullet holes is spread across the cracked wall, reaching from one corner to the other.
Nice, Sam. Welcome back. How are you, Sam? Look, Kim, even more bullet hills. Hills. Something definitely going down here.
Correct. The density of the bullet holes is unusual, even in a general average bullet hole frequency in Martinez sense. Grim affairs. Meaning, this is a lot of bullet holes. Looks like fully automatic rifle fire. Something you don't see these days.
Why not?
The manufacturing and sale of automatic rifles was curtailed after the revolution. The destructive power of such tools proved to be too much. We do need to retain some humanity in this world.
Alright, let's save. Good morning, Butterhells. Who?
A scattering of bullet holes is spread across the unable to piece together.
Nope. I'm a winner, not a loser. And I will win this dice roll.
A scattering of bullet holes is unable to piece together.
I'm a winner, not a loser.
A scattering of bullet holes is spread across the unable to piece together. A scattering of bullet holes is spread across the cracked wall. A row of ghostly shades stand facing the wall. There are many of them, a dozen at least, their heads lowered and eyes blindfolded. It's quiet, no sound, no movement. 10 meters away, other shades are lined up in an orderly manner, automatic rifles primed. A gust of wind blows by. The coats of the firing squad flap slowly in the breeze. A single person stands on the side. The sun blazes high up in the sky, baking the planks, the sand, your skin. The order was carried out in the afternoon. A long time has passed since the moment of this fusillading. Rain and brine have since washed all the blood away. Not a trace remains.
What is this?
The abundance of bullet holes leads to two options. Either an inordinate amount of executions were performed here, or they did not use a conscience round, where only one soldier has the loaded rifle. Looks like this was a mass execution with everyone fully armed.
Look at the people against the wall.
A host of men, probably in everyday clothes, ragged from the conflict and covered in dust. They were not sitting, a common practice for executions in some nations, as demonstrated by the height level of the bullet holes. They stand, facing the wall. It's impossible to discern any details about their personality or background. Ordinary people, familiar, each and every one of them.
Who were they?
Comrades, the forsaken, the wretched, who tried to rise against the horrors of the world. 7 men in combat uniforms and dark coats, holding automatic rifles aimed at the people. Soldiers from some side, but from which one?
Look at the person standing on the side.
The commandant, the one who gives the order. Machine gun fire crackling through the air, the lights of the muzzle flashes dancing on his face.
Yo, it's going to be an early night. As soon as we hit the hour mark for the second part of Disco Elysium, we're going to end the night. We'll pick back up sometime in the middle of the day tomorrow with 2064 and System Shock and Deus Ex, okay? It's going to be an early night. Kim, in this execution?
I don't know. I don't know who died here, lined up beside that horrible wall. It could have been any of the parties involved in the revolution. Perhaps the ones executed here were the loyalist conservatives, killed by the communists at the start of the Civil War. Or it could have been the communists, put to death during the last stretch of the conflict by the coalition forces.
Remember what Trent Heidelstein said about Feld?
What if it was Feld personnel when their assets were being seized by the revolutionaries?
Another likely scenario.
Or maybe...
What about people from the coalition, the so-called moralists?
Yeah, it's very unlikely the coalition forces were the ones who died here. They were always the last ones against the wall. To be honest, if a coalition member was anyone in this situation, it was a commandant, the superior giving the orders.
Goodbye.
A cold sea wind blows away the figures. Behind this building, the other one, once filled with engineers and designers of Feld Electric, now collapsed and dead, but for some rats. You feel drawn, for some reason, to the faded mural again.
You want me to go back to the mural? Okay. I'll go back to the mural.
The once bright mural towers above you, saying, Feld Electrical are...
Can't do it. Fart, 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 fart. Fungus, it's nice to see you. How are you doing? Love you too, Fungus. Hope you're doing well.
There's no way the perp isn't here, officer. Look how scarred the boards are. All attempts to pry them off have failed.
Can I try to get in, though?
Not this time. The opposition is insurmountable, but I like the spirit. Have some points. It's lonely and cold without points. And dangerous. Dangerous too.
Kim, you think she's in there?
The suspect? God, I hope not. I can't see a way in, though many have tried.
What do those words mean, Fungus?
Nothing has changed about
Oh, I didn't know that, Schmorks. Cool. Where the hell am I? It's the whipped cream Pokemon. I'm a little bit lost, I'm trying to get home. I'm a little bit lost, I'm trying to get home. Interesting, Fungus.
Hello, mister.
Heard there was a girl here who has armored gloves. Is that you?
Oh, I had gloves. Very big ones. Heavy, too.
Where did you get these gloves?
Found them when Lemmy and I were playing hide and seek. In an empty house. Where no one lives. I think someone hid them there.
she doesn't want you to think she stole them.
And where are the gloves
I
now?
hid them. The twins were going to take them. They're stupid.
She lifts her stuffed toy up and looks into its one remaining eye as though searching for confirmation.
We are going to need those gloves. It's for important police business.
That's really cute, Fungus. Glad that they're adding new things to Pokemon. He enunciates the last two words carefully.
Oh. They're in my sandcastle. Behind our house. Under sand. You can break the castle. It's not very good. Bye!
Are you here all by yourself? What are you doing in this house all by yourself, little girl? Where are your parents?
Weather has not been kind to Lily's little sandcastle. The once mighty towers are quickly eroding away. You can see something shining back to you from what must have been a vast underground catacomb network.
Broken.
The little castle? The reigning lord must have come upon some really tough times to let it sleep in such decrepitude.
Reach in the catacombs and pull out the shiny object.
The walls and floors give way to the giant's greed, collapse and present you with a pair of ceramic gauntlets.
Congratulations. That's the gauntlets down then. We're doing good on the armor collection front.
Nice. So those do help with interfacing. Can I fast travel? Why can't I fast travel my ass out of here? Oh, I know where I am finally. I just have to get away from here, and then I can go home. I think. Nope, I'm lost again. Wait, I haven't talked to you. Have I?
I'll just keep the Cordelechi in the channel, if that's okay. It's too shallow near the pier. Aye, ma'am. And it's a jetty, by the way. Of course. Jetty. I prefer a good jetty to a pier any day. Jetty?
Jetty.
Lever fastening the mooring line around the post rotting in the water.
Okay.